All right, man. We're gonna try this again. We wasn't up 5 minutes and YouTube took it down. Fair use is for educational training purposes. We already prayed and all that good jazz. Man, let's try to do this again. So there's a lot going on the world stage. Y'all can see the screen?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So again, this is the Devil's Playground 2. There's a lot going on the world stage right now. Getting into world news. Again, if you're going to these hospitals and you ain't got nobody advocating for you, you might want to be careful. Fair use, this is for educational and training purposes, okay? All right.
Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting, "They want to take my organs." At first, police believed he was delirious after a minor accident, but 2 hours later, a raid changed everything. The man, Mark Delcourt, was admitted for a minor injury, but his file had been altered to irrecoverable, and he was moved to a technical/maintenance wing. The doors were locked. The cameras were turned away. Mark heard two people whispering, "No family, we start tonight." In panic, he ripped out his IV, crawled into a ventilation duct, and escaped. Police thought he was still panicking, but Mark insisted there are more people alive in there. At 0047, a special tactical unit raided the basement. They found 4 patients strapped down, one lying on a table next to a tray of surgical tools stained with dried blood. Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side.
You ain't got nobody, and you ain't told nobody what's going on, you ain't got nobody coming up there and checking on you, you're wrong. There's a lot of black market stuff going on, and they don't care about what your race is. If they find out you ain't got no family, because we got a testimony, there's a lot of stuff going on with our dad within the last few years to where he was basically, living in the hospital. And it came to a point to where they thought he was going to die. They gave us the talk.
That was actually his third day in the hospital.
Yeah, it's third day, because he went from being decent to basically unconscious because they over-medicated him. And so they try to say, oh, well, we're going to call it COVID to where y'all can't be in the room. Use a lie. We fought that tooth and nail. He didn't spend a day without somebody there. And when they gave us the talk, they talked about how they thought he was going to die. They asked us if we wanted to resuscitate. It was like, yeah, keep him alive. Yeah. He survived that ordeal. A few days later, same type of deal comes up.
No, once we had that talk, the blue code came on because they said he was.
Yeah, but like that was, he had survived that one. That was another one within the same few days though. So they were like, they said, oh well, we see there's a DNR on file, so we're just going to keep him comfortable. We said what? We didn't. Did nobody here sign that?
We just told y'all no, keep him alive. Fight for
Yeah,
his life.
and then like we didn't even see that doctor after that happened again. At least I didn't. I never saw her again personally.
She left that hospital a couple months later.
Yeah, she got out of there.
Yeah.
Trying to tell y'all, be careful. Y'all trusting in these hospitals, be careful.
And we only found out on the humbug, a nurse who didn't know what was going on just said, yeah, right here in the system says, do not resuscitate, so we'll keep you comfortable. We're like, what?
Who signed this and what's it about?
Did none of us sign it? Nobody there signed it.
She had no idea that we said save his life. Like, she
That's
had no
what
idea.
happened to my old apostle. That's how he passed. His family was mad because it was during COVID and his son was upset. He was like, that did not kill my father. The hospital killed my father.
Facts. We had an auntie that died similar. She had pneumonia, but it was the same protocols and wouldn't let nobody in there, and then nobody knows what happened. Next thing you know, she's dead.
Nobody's here to advocate for him.
So again, they want your organs.
That's what happened to grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
Yep,
Okay.
because she went to a hospital, they was in the room, and she leaned forward and said, oh God, and my auntie had to go get a nurse, and they said, well, y'all need to leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
They left the room,
That was
then they
it.
called Cold Blue,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they was in there for a while, but came back and left. The autopsy said, I mean, they didn't do autopsy, but the death certificate said, patient choked while being assisted by family feeding.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Patient choked by being assisted by family
But she
feeding.
was talking,
Yeah.
and they said she choked. They had to open up and did a trach on her, and they
Yep.
found food in there. And I spoke to the funeral director, and the funeral director said the only people that cut on her was him.
Yeah.
So the hospital lied about the death.
Yeah.
Of course, it's what they do. That's what they're good at. That's what they're great at.
So I believe this. Well, when Jessica was in there, and she's going into surgery, the anesthesiologist had gotten into it with the nurses. And he had
Big
got
time.
in an argument with them and said, next time you think I'm doing something wrong, come to me. Don't go above my head.
Yeah.
And then he walked off, and he used to chief of anesthesiologist. And I went and talked to the nurses, and I'm like, is he good?
Yeah.
She said, yes, she's good. I said, no, I overheard your conversation. I said, I don't want him touching my wife.
Yeah.
And then when he came back and she about to rule her back, he was like, do you want me to give you something for anxiety to rule? And Jessica said, no. He said, are you sure? I said, she said, no. Don't give her nothing,
Yeah.
don't touch her.
They used to over-medicate people, bro.
They was, when
So
I
I
said
was
they was into
making
it, it was
sure-
like.
I was making sure he had nothing to do with her.
What are they arguing about?
He got,
Stuff
they
that could have
reported,
been,
they reported
somebody
him.
said something to somebody and jumped over him to say something. It was just like a real big argument, and he wasn't quiet about it. And mind you, I'm sitting there waiting to go back, and I'm
Yeah.
like, is that my anesthesiologist?
Yeah, like, man,
No.
if they about to do surgery on me or put me to sleep.
I told him, nope,
He upset?
he's not, well, he's just gonna oversee.
Shocking news.
I said, I don't want him doing nothing.
He ain't thinking clearly.
No. So you're right, you have to have somebody back
Yeah.
up.
You got to. You can't trust strangers. They don't care about you.
That's not their family.
'Cause
And
it's big business for
another
them.
thing is, it depends on where you are. These nurses don't live here in Muskogee.
Traveling nurses, yeah.
They're traveling nurses, so they don't have no ties with anybody
Yeah.
in here. I like I said to grandma, I gave the nurse everything she took. I personally did it and watched her put it in the computer. And she had an episode and they said, we don't have no medication on this. I flipped out. I said, I personally saw the nurse put it in the computer. What do you mean you don't have no medication on this?
Yeah.
So you're right, you have to be,
Only. Yeah.
You got to be on them because you can't give them the benefit of the doubt. And so, like, we know what Jamal put out in the text messages this morning, but prior to that, y'all know, remember all the stuff going on in Gaza and all this other type of stuff with the Palestinians and all this other stuff, right? Now, are y'all aware, like, how far that the state of Israel took clearing that area out, how far that they went? So they have this technology, and I quote, they evaporated 3,000 allegedly illegal Palestinians.
Evaporate.
They evaporate.
Fair use. This is for educational and training purposes.
Yes.
So I have another one of those stories here where words really don't do justice to just how depraved and disgusting and low and immoral this is. We discussed this in the past, but now we have further verification that this indeed is real. So take a look at this. Investigation reveals Israel evaporated nearly 3,000 Palestinians with thermal weapons in Gaza. Quote, "We found nothing of Saad, not even a body to bury." That was the hardest part. So we're going to get into some of the specifics here, but when you engage in rampant dehumanization of a population, the last stage of that is, we can do fucking anything we want to these people because they don't count. They're not like us. They're not equal to us. They're the other. They're evil. They're bad by definition. Even the kids, even the women, even the children. And so unspeakable atrocities happen. once you go through that process and you fully dehumanize the other. So let me walk you through this here. They say, an investigation conducted by Al Jazeera based on evidence collected by the civil defense in the Gaza Strip has concluded that nearly 3,000 Palestinians have been evaporated by Israel through the use of thermal weapons, some of them supplied by the U.S. As reported by Al Jazeera on Tuesday, the investigation found that 2,842 Palestinians were killed due to Israel's systematic use of internationally prohibited thermal and thermobaric weapons, often referred to as vacuum or aerosol bombs, capable of generating temperatures exceeding 3,500 degrees Celsius, which is 6,332 degrees Fahrenheit, over 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, now you understand why there would be no trace of these people, because they literally evaporate or disintegrate or turn into dust or melt, like right in front of your eyes. They say the heat generated by these weapons is so intense, investigators noted, that they leave behind almost no detectable human remains other than bloodstains or pieces of flesh. It sounds like even the teeth are gone, and that's usually the last thing to go. So that's how destructive these weapons are. I mean, this is right up there literally with like nuclear weapons in terms of the horror that we're talking about. Israel's use of such weapons was flagged last year in a social media post by Omar Hamand, a Gaza pharmacist, who posted a video purportedly showing a thermobaric bomb being detonated in Beit Hanun. So here, let me show you this video. You really get a sense of the power of these things by watching this. This is incredible. Ready? Look at that. I mean, it actually, like, it goes off like a nuclear bomb. Look at how it goes off again. Over 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit, vacuum bomb or thermobaric bomb. Mahmoud Basal, spokesperson for the Gaza Civil Defense, said that the investigation was not a mere estimate of Palestinians incinerated by thermal and thermobaric weapons, but the result of painstaking forensic work. So in other words, these are the ones they could prove. We entered a targeted home and cross-referenced the known number of occupants with the bodies removed, Basil explained. If a family tells us there were 5 people inside and we only recover 3 intact bodies, we treat the remaining as evaporated only after an exhaustive search yields nothing but biological traces, blood spray on walls or small fragments like scalps. Unlike the explosions caused by traditional bombs, thermobaric weapons used by Israel in Gaza first disperse clouds of fuel in a given area that are then ignited to create an enormous, intense fireball. The investigation found that the fuel typically used in Israeli thermobaric weapons was tritonol, a mixture consisting of 80% TNT and 20% aluminum powder, often found in U.S. manufactured weapons, such as the Mark 84 aircraft bomb. Dr. Munir al-Bush, Director General of the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza, told Al Jazeera that the heat generated by these weapons is so intense that any living creature's bodily fluids would immediately boil. So these bombs boiled people alive, y'all. It boiled people alive. Quote, when a body is exposed to energy exceeding 3,000 degrees, combined with massive pressure and oxidation, the fluids boil instantly. The tissues vaporize and turn to ash. It's chemically inevitable. Gaza resident Yasmin Mahani told Al Jazeera that her son Saad was incinerated by a 2024 Israeli strike that hit a school in the Daraj neighborhood of Gaza City. Quote, we found nothing of Saad, not even a body to bury. That was the hardest part. And by the way, let's just be clear. I honestly think we're only getting a fraction of the truth of the matter when it comes to what went down in Gaza. Just the other week, we had the IDF came out and accepted the Gaza Ministry of Health number, which is run by Hamas, which they always used to say to downplay it and say, we don't believe those numbers. Now they accepted those numbers of 70,000 dead in Gaza. But why are they now accepting the 70,000 number? The reason they're accepting the 70,000 number is because the real number is way higher. Remember, the Gaza Ministry of Health, they only do the people they can prove, they know for sure are dead. That does not include people who are trapped underneath the rubble, okay? Well, virtually all of Gaza, 83% of Gaza is now rubble. It's not there anymore. People were showing the other day, they talk about Rafah in the past tense. They don't talk about it like it's real anymore because it's gone. It's literally wiped off the map. So if you have rubble that will literally take, and I'm not kidding about this, years to clear, decades, some say, to clear. Well, how many people are underneath the rubble? Well, we've seen estimates on the number of dead in Gaza, and it ranges from like 100,000 or 200,000, all the way up to over 600,000 that have been killed. And by the way, that's what I think Netanyahu and Trump believe, because when they give numbers like, oh, we need to move 1.4 million people, they say, talking about Palestinians, when they're openly discussing ethnic cleansing, mind you, they go, oh, we got to move 1.4 million people. Okay, we'll do the math on that. There were about 2.3 million people in Gaza before the genocide. Now, according to them, it's 1.3 million left. So they're even higher on their estimate than the highest count I've seen of about 630,000. So what we're witnessing, like, again, I don't have the words to put into perspective for you what this is, like what you actually witnessed, what's actually happening right now in front of our eyes. Now they're talking about building a futuristic AI tech billionaire city on top of the rubble, on top of the skulls of dead babies and women and children. They're talking about it's like a crypto city, and it can be, it's a vacation getaway on the beach where, Palestinians will be kicked out of there, and those that live there will be under permanent surveillance in an authoritarian hellhole where they're brainwashed by Israeli propaganda 24/7. The handful that get to stay. I mean, this is what we're witnessing. So this isn't an exaggeration when I say this is Nazi shit. This is Nazi shit. This is like Fourth Reich shit is what we're witnessing. And Trump is the head of it, and Netanyahu is the head of it. These are the heads of the snake, along with Marco Rubio. That's what this is. And so now we're beginning to learn, as time goes by, we'll learn more and more and more about what actually went on there. And my guess is the thermobaric weapons are just, a fraction of the story. And we're going to learn. I mean, what was the number? I forget the exact number, but it's like Gaza was effectively nuked over a dozen times or something like that in terms of the actual, the bombs that were dropped on it. The power of that weaponry was equivalent to more than a dozen nuclear bombs. I believe that's roughly in the ballpark of what we're talking about here. And they said it, guys. They said it from the beginning. I don't want to hear anything. There is no justification. There is no rationalization. It can't happen. Because they said it. After October 7th, they said, we're cutting off all food, fuel, water, and electricity into the Gaza Strip. It's a total siege, and they call them animals, right? On a regular basis, on a daily basis, never mind a weekly basis, you have top Israeli government officials who will say the most dehumanizing shit you've ever heard in your life, where they say, oh yeah, of course we should kill their children. Duh, they don't count. We should kill their children too. Oh, of course. So this is what we're dealing with here. This is what we're working with here. They blamed 2.3 million people for the crimes of Hamas, which only includes 30 or 40,000, by the way, in Hamas. But they blamed 2.3 million people. And it's not like all 30 or 40,000 in Hamas participated in October 7th. That was what? A couple hundred people? So they did an historic atrocity right in front of our eyes. And again, now we're learning more about it as time goes by. And, shame on the world. Shame on the entire world. Because we armed it and funded it every step of the way. Fucking shame on Joe Biden. Shame on Donald Trump. These people are war criminals. I want to give you some more too, though. So Jasper Nathaniel says, interestingly, Israel's latest power grab in the West Bank has broke through to the mainstream media. I'll have a Substack out tomorrow with the full story. So we give some headlines here. So the New York Times says, Israel gives itself more control over occupied West Bank, which, by the way, very passive language, very neutral language. They're not saying what this actually is. Israel is doing a full illegal annexation and stealing all of the West Bank. They're not saying that. They're saying, oh, it gives itself more control. They make it seem like it's, that's not biting language. The Security Cabinet took actions that make it easier for Jews to buy land in the territory. Critics say the changes violate the Oslo Accords and international law and accelerate attempts to annex the land. So that's one headline. Another headline from the Washington Post. Israel's Security Cabinet approves measures to strengthen control over the West Bank. Again, with the
It's like what?
And look, it ain't getting no coverage on everything.
Nope. That's my job is to warn y'all, let y'all know what's going on.
They haven't said a word about that.
No, they're worried about Epstein and UFOs and.
They really ain't worried about Epstein. They keep blocking stuff out of the paperwork.
Right.
They got the
They keep the Epstein, he's doing all this stuff to keep the Epstein files hush hush.
Yeah.
And then it's funny, after Hillary Clinton testified of what she said.
So I have another one.
And all of a sudden he goes and bombs. So you don't,
Yep.
you trying to take Hillary's trying to tell
Yep.
y'all, she said that none of the Republicans asked her about Epstein.
Right.
It was about UFOs and
Yep.
aliens and all this stuff that she wasn't in there to testify for is about Epstein. So it's like, okay, the Clintons done told the truth. Let's do something to take everybody's attention.
Yep.
And then he does this without congressional approval. Yet again.
So Iran already had threatened that if he does something, they're gonna release his videos.
Yeah.
I mean, so
And I almost put that in here. Yeah. Yeah. No, they hacked the Epstein files. They hacked it.
Epstein file videos with
Yep.
Trump, and they was like, we will release these videos.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't put that in this. I'll try to put it in the next one.
Because you gotta remember, like with the Epstein Island, it was from all over the world.
Yeah.
So they
Because he has two islands. He don't just got one. He got two islands.
There's more to the reasoning of robbing Iran.
And he's not the only billionaire that has an island.
Oh, of course not.
I was hitting the button because it keep beeping at me.
Okay,
So
that's
it
fine.
went off, and then they called
Okay.
the fire department.
Okay. So, just like Jeremiah, he had put out early this morning about what was going on. I just screenshot a few different of the articles. It says that U.S. and Israel attack Iran. The U.S. and Israel launched strikes on Iran Saturday morning after what the Israeli military said was months of close and joint planning. Israel said its strikes targeted Iran's supreme leader, president, and head of the armed forces. The U.S. is also planning for several days of attacks, sources tell CNN. So this is not just going to be one day. Trump calls for regime change. Trump describes the U.S. military campaign as massive and ongoing. Warned Americans' lives may be lost.
Yeah, he said that.
He said American lives may be lost.
He said that's what happened in the war.
And called on Iranians to take over their government. So he wants them to completely usurp their government.
But the thing is, they already put the internet off, so no, they can't even see the
Well.
what you call it, the broadcast.
He also accused Tehran of working to rebuild its nuclear program after massive U.S. strikes last summer he previously claimed had obliterated the facilities. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes, and to be honest, it's none of our business.
We got them.
It's just not. Exactly.
We got them.
Russia does, China does, a lot of other countries have them. Iran retaliated, though.
They coming back hard.
Iran responded to the attacks by launching an unprecedented wave of strikes toward Israel and U.S. targets across the Middle East. Explosions were reported in a number of countries, including the UAE, Bahrain, and Qatar.
And Jordan.
Wow.
And Jordan, right? Right? So then it says Iran, this is what they said, will respond to U.S. Israeli strikes with authority, says the foreign ministry, right? Iran's rapid retaliation puts U.S. defense systems to the test, according to CNN's military analysts. It says Iran's rapid retaliation to the U.S. and Israel's joint military operation will test the defense systems established by the U.S. across the Middle East, while also demonstrating Iran's military capability. This is the defensive posture that has been established over the past few months and actually years in the Gulf region. That is now being basically put to the test as the Iranians respond to the initial attack. Retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Cedric Layton told CNN's Becky Anderson. Layton said intelligence estimates give some indication as to the capacity Iran has to retaliate, but he added its speedy response is surprising and suggests it has been preparing for an attack of this intensity. They, or Iran, have about 2,000 to 3,000 missiles that they are capable of launching. Layton said the problem that they have is that they don't have, at least according to the intelligence estimates, they don't have the launchers that they should. The military experts said Iran is believed to have around a third of the launchers it had before the June attack last year. So if that's true, if those intelligence estimates are correct, one would think that the Iranian response would have been delayed a bit. But they clearly were able to mount a response very quickly, more quickly than expected. I expected them to mount a response, but not a response of this magnitude at this particular moment in time. So they were clearly getting ready for this, Layton said. They were prepared.
Yeah, because Iran said after that bombing last year, they said they rearmed everything and got more.
And who they get it from?
Russia,
China, the BRICS nations, right? The BRICS nations. So it says Iran's foreign ministry has just released a statement in English condemning the criminal military aggression carried out by the U.S. and Israel, which this this morning struck a number of locations inside Iran. The renewed military aggression of the United States and the Zionist regime against Iran is being committed while Iran and the United States were in the middle of the diplomatic process, right? Yeah. They were supposed to be going to Geneva, right? Yeah. To finish negotiating. The foreign ministry said, referencing nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran that were ongoing just yesterday. Now the Iranian people are proud that they did everything necessary to prevent war. Now is the time to defend the homeland and confront the enemy's military aggression, the foreign ministry said. Just as we are ready for negotiations, we have been more prepared than ever for defense. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran will respond to the aggressors with authority, it continued. The Iranian foreign ministry called on the United Nations and international community to firmly condemn this act of aggression and take urgent and collective action to confront it, which has undoubtedly exposed the peace and security of the region and the world to an unprecedented threat. Now, they talking about the world, not just Iran. They talking about the whole world, Craig. History testifies that Iranians have never surrendered to foreign aggression and hegemony. This time too, the response of the Iranian nation will be decisive and determining and will make the aggressors regret their criminal act, it said. So they want all the smoke, in other words. Yeah. They want it all. Now, the crazy thing about this strike that happened this morning is this is during Ramadan, during their holy time. So are they trying to make this a holy war? Because me and Jamal, we was talking about this a couple of days ago. I was talking to wife about it. But like, if they do something, I was like, this is during Ramadan. Yeah. So you're really trying to get all of the Islamic world to come to your aid now. Yeah. This is the time. That's why I sent in that text. This is the time to be praying. Because I'm telling you, they got sleeper cells everywhere in this country. Heck, Qatar is building their own doggone base over here now. One of them countries, right? Yeah. Building their own base over here, and people over here playing in La La Land, man. I'm like, look. Again, this is during Ramadan, right? Say what, Jerome?
You don't mess with people's holiday season with their worship time because it triggers something in you know. You don't have no respect. That's the fools of disrespect and hatred. And
that's why I said holy war. What I should have actually said was crusade. Yeah. Because that's the type of stuff that could start a whole nother crusade.
A whole jihad. Another jihad.
People ain't paying attention, man. Yeah. Iranian army says they will deliver a historic lesson to Israel and the United States. Iran's army said it will deliver a historic lesson to Israel and the United States after strikes on Iranian cities. As we have already stated, any base anywhere in the region that assists Israel will be a target of the sacred Islamic Republic and our armed forces. And we will show no hesitation. The senior armed forces spokesman, Brigadier General Shakarki, said, according to Iranian state-affiliated media. Also, if y'all not aware, because this is why I said I would not want to be in the military in this time.
No, I literally just said that this morning.
Because look what Iran just did. Yeah. Iran launches large-scale drone attack at Israel. Iran has launched its first large-scale drone attack at Israel, firing dozens of attack drones, said the Iranian army. I would want no part in this nonsense.
Huh? I don't know if they're drones or equipment. They can literally seize every communication until they make them drop.
Yeah. Or they can use them drones to knock out all your missile defense systems.
Right.
Everything, bro.
While you talking about all your defense systems, they can do all kinds of bombs.
You know what? Cat Williams said one thing that was really interesting. He said that every government in the world, and like especially the governments that have nuclear technology and nuclear codes, he said that every last one of them are running off of Wi-Fi. So a solar flare or one perfectly designed cyber attack could send them all off. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi ain't that secure. Just saying. Not Wi-Fi. So we know that this is all about Babylon eventually falling, right? So we're going to go to your book, chapter 50. And if you don't mind, Aki.
The word that the Most High spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye the nations, and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken. Baal is confounded. Murdo is broken into pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces.
Because we know that this is all going to end up bringing the downfall of Mystery Babylon, or the Babylon which is America. Just like Gerard Butler's movie, America Has Fallen, right?
Speaking of idols, you see Iran, they was burning the statue of Baal over there.
Were they?
Iran, yeah.
They were burning because, you know, they don't worship Baal. But it's crazy because over here in America, they serve who? The Lord.
Yeah.
Baal.
Yeah.
Everything lines up. Keep going.
Yeah. For out of the north there comes up a nation against her.
What nation is that? Keep going.
Okay. Which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, saith the Most High, the children of Israel shall come.
Christians shall come.
Children of Israel.
Okay.
They and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Most High their Yah.
That's how you know that this is a future prophecy, because both kingdoms did not come back from Babylon back then, right? Keep going.
They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces
thitherward.
Yeah, saying, come, and let us join ourselves to the Most High in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
That means it's going to be forever, right?
Yep. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountain to the hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Most High, the habitation of justice, even the Most High, the hope of their fathers.
So what does it mean to devour something?
Destroy.
To eat it, to consume it, right? And they say, oh, we offend not because they in sin. So they know who we are. They know who you are. And as long as you in sin, it don't matter. Hey, we got them doing whatever. So we're going to keep this kingdom. When you see text like this in there, this should make you want to strive towards the kingdom, right? This should make you want to just focus on the Most High even more, because there's a rulership that comes after this, right? Keep going.
Remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flock. For lo, I will raise a cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country.
From the north.
And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. And that spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Most High.
So he talked about all the people, our adversaries devoured us, right? And then he talked about how there's an assembly of nations that's going to come against Babylon. Well, we know about, again, everything's about BRICS, because that is that assembly of nations that's coming from the north. And he talks about how shoot their arrows and there'll be a mighty expert man that's like smart technology, right? Yeah. It's going to hit its target. It's going to be guaranteed. I'm going to read this slide. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced. O you destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as a heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Because again, this book's about a people. This book's about a bloodline. Those of other people can cleave to the covenant, right? Nobody's saying that they can't. But this redemption has always been about Israel. Passover, the original Passover, he gave basically the Egyptians for a ransom, killed their firstborn to save the Israelites. You cannot change the context of the book, especially when you weren't given the book. It's crazy. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because we was talking over at the parents' house the other day, and I know we've talked about this before, but a lot of our people don't want to leave America. A lot of our people want to stay in Babylon. And I'm telling you, it's going to come a time when we're going to have to go. We can't be so stuck in the system to where we're like, nah, I just can't, be like Lot's wife.
Or my whole life there. My whole life there.
We'll make another one.
Yeah.
You ain't dead yet. I'm saying, like, a lot of our people still have that American, Gentile, Greco-Roman mind. Go ahead.
Well, like you said, also, like, there's also good places in Africa to live, but we'll never see them. That's another reason why people don't want to leave.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's like,
because it may not be exactly the standard now, but so there's a reason why Asian countries and European countries are all trying to get their foothold in Africa, because Africa is the future. Africa is going to have the future biggest population of people also, because the African countries are procreating way more than Europeans. Europeans, respectfully, are dying more than they are being born. Right? The world is shifting. The balance of power is shifting. So you have to discern who you're going to serve. You're going to have to choose this day who you're going to serve. Right? Then he says, because of the wrath of the Most High, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Most High. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahuwah. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done do unto her. Yeah. And this is what a lot of Americans don't realize. The country of America, North America, the United States of America, has so much blood on her hands.
Yeah.
So much, but I'm proud to be an American, and they think that this Lady Liberty is never gonna fall. Lady Libertas, which is really a black woman in chains.
Yeah.
If we really want to keep it a buck, right? They think that they can continue to kill us and ain't nothing gonna happen. They think that Iran is Venezuela.
Yeah, I guess so.
Look, man, these people, when you can only operate from a place of power, when you start seeing your power diminish, you will do anything to keep the illusion of power going. And that's what Trump is doing now. That's what the government is doing now.
You see his phrase is peace through strength.
Peace through strength, huh?
Peace through strength.
Target practice.
So he gonna make you be peaceful.
Oh, yeah. That's why he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. He's going to make you give it to him.
He wants it so bad too, the Peace Prize.
He says, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Don't be so tied to America. We gonna have to leave this place. It's gonna get bad here. I'm just trying to keep it a beam with everybody. Look, it says, Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria have devoured him, and last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, not Christians, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. He ain't talking about Christians. He's talking about the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Because this experiment, like, have you ever wondered why they always call America an experiment? Have you ever heard these philosophers and like I don't know if you want to call them scientists or whatever, sociologists, whatever, but they like, yeah, this is a great experiment.
Yeah, they're trying out everything. Yeah.
So does that mean that we're the guinea pigs in this experiment?
We have been for a long time.
Y'all ain't ready to no longer be an experiment no more? Because, you know, they found out some of our people's body parts don't literally die, or at least in the blood. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to take to wake certain people up. So we'll keep going. Because the end of Jacob's trouble is coming, but it's going to get rough. It says, go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekad. Waste and utterly destroy after them, saith Yahuwah, and do according to all that I have commanded you. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? What do you think? Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
With the land of Bethlehem, I believe, or and the other one. What exactly does that name mean, or where is it?
I don't have my phone. My phone is in my truck right now, or I go to my Bible app. Keep that question out, and I'll try to go back to it later. But it's referring to. It's got to still be referring to Babylon. In my opinion, like I said, once I get my phone, I'll go there in the good old app.
Ain't that where King R was king at? The sand?
Good eye. A sound of battle. How is that? So what do you think the nations are going to think when America falls? Because this great experiment of America is allegedly so technologically advanced. They say that this is the greatest and strongest nation that has ever existed. How confused is the world going to be when she falls?
Boy.
And you gotta think about the upheaval, the vacuum that's going to come of somebody else trying to take that spot of power.
Always. That's always going to happen.
Like, that's why this is going to be such a strange salvation, because Americans don't think that they can be defeated.
Nope.
They don't believe it. They think it's like fairy tale nonsense.
Definitely not humble, that's for sure.
Definitely not humble. They don't listen to Kendrick. I have laid a snare for you, and you are also taken, O Babylon. And you was not aware. You are found and also caught. Beside you have striven against Yahuwah. Yahuwah hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahuwah Zabaoth in the land of the Chaldeans. I'm telling you, man, the world is going to be shocked when this white supremacist Christian nationalist country goes down. Because in case y'all ain't aware, now most of the world outside of the European powers, for the most part, hates America.
Yeah.
Look at what we're doing to the South Americas.
Bro, Trump doing it on his own.
Everything we doing to Africa and all these other places, like, huh?
Making enemies.
Oh yeah, he definitely ain't making friends. The closest thing is frenemies. He ain't making no friends.
Cartel down.
So you said the cartel. We know about Venezuela, Iran. He bombed Nigeria on Christmas.
Europe.
He's pissing off the Europeans.
Yeah.
And I saw something where North Korea said that they needed to stop bombing Iran or something earlier.
We ain't running on Korea.
Not North Korea. I think it was South Korea. My bad. It was something. I didn't put it in here, but it's just like.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Elder. Give him the mic. Give him the mic.
I looked it up. It means double land of double bitterness and double rebellion.
The land of double bitterness and double. Well, that's got to be America. This is the most rebellious place on earth.
And you're correct when you said that it was over there in the Babylonian area of old. You know, because the name was taken from one of the rivers that's over there. That,
Gotcha.
You know, but that's what it means: double bitterness. And
Okay.
double rebellion.
Praise the Lord. Hey. All right. So verse 26. Go ahead, Art.
What number?
26.
Come against her from the from the utmost border. Open her storehouses. Cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left.
Now, why would a loving creator want this to happen to a nation?
Bro, you gotta,
Because God, He's only love.
you gotta tear everything down and burn it. Like, you know,
Everything.
yeah,
Right?
don't keep nothing.
So, like, especially in this time, you got to keep weeding out every bit of Christianity that you got in you. Because in that Christianity, they mix in those lies. There's some truth in it, but there's so many lies in there that you have to start peeling back and try to reclaim the Hebraic mind, right? Where the scriptures come from. Keep going.
Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Most High our Yah, the vengeance of His temple.
When we make it out of this thing, we're going to be telling all our people what the Most High has done for us.
Oh yeah.
Bro. I know I want to be one of those. I want all of our assembly to be one of those tribes that just make it like, hey,
Yeah.
we made it through it, doggone it. We didn't love Babylon more than we loved the Creator or more than our lives.
Yeah.
Right? Keep going.
Call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape.
He said, don't let nobody make it out of that thing.
No, they gonna die together. Recompense her according to her work. According to all that she have done, do unto her. So everything that did, they get it back on you.
Boy, that's going to take over 400 years.
Yeah. For she hath been proud against the Most High, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day. saith
All
the
of
Lord.
them. Dunsky.
They all die together.
You want to trust in your weapons? Dunsky. Go ahead.
Oh, you are saying? Oh, okay. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Most High God of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith the Most High of hosts. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
So in this kingdom, both houses of Israel were oppressed.
Yeah, together.
Slavery, bondage, captivity, redlining, everything you can think of.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst. Always the tail and never the head. We got to go to them for everything and wanting nakedness of all things. Right? Keep going.
And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
You know they don't want us to leave. They'll talk all that smack about us, but they don't want us to leave. What would America be if we all just left?
Bro, that's a horrible country. We're the backbone.
I'm about to say, they definitely would be trash in the Olympics. For sure.
Every sport. Every sport.
Yeah, every sport. There's no more NBA, NFL, none of that.
We're on rap music.
Bro, if we got to take all of the things that we actually invented,
They will-
done. Stone Age.
America's not gonna let her Negroes leave without a fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you always hear me say, what we're at right now is a mirror image of what our ancestors
Yep.
put in. So everything that if you want to know what the end time is going to be like here in this country, just pay attention to what happened to our ancestors in Egypt, how rebellious the old black pharaoh was. You know, before he decided, let you all go and serve. Get out of here. Don't serve your God.
But it's a good son died for him to say, go ahead and go. Like,
And all the firstborn.
yeah. Yeah.
Keep going.
Right.
What'd he say?
The book of slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, but it's like,
Whenever the British was fighting and then they ended up losing and the rebels came and gathered all their slaves up and didn't want them to go.
Of course not.
they got to do all
But they claim that they claim that we're lazy and they
Little piece
don't
of
need
land
us.
To develop, the Europeans got all upset because they were like, well, they wanted them there, but they didn't want them to leave. And I'm like, well, make up your mind.
Make it make sense. Like, what are we talking about?
You know what I'm saying? That's why their Redeemer is strong. The Most High of Hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, said the Most High, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
So we're coming up on a time to where the Most High is really going to humble America. And I hope and pray that we're all alive to see and enjoy that day when America is truly humbled and they realize who we actually are. Right?
Yeah.
So verse 36, a sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. This lion nation. A sword is upon their horses and their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. The melting pot, right? What does Babylon mean?
Confusion.
By mixing.
Yeah.
Confusion by mixing, the mingled people, right? In the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Like, how could this not be America? This is the one nation where you can serve any God.
Yeah.
Any literal God you can serve here and erect any image to here.
And they're up to.
Yep.
Everywhere.
In America, you'll see all kind of crosses put up.
Gay churches, all that stuff.
The Queen James Bible, like this stuff is wild. The Trump Bible, this place is wild, bro.
Church of Satan. Okay.
This look. Any God you want to serve, just come to America. You can do it. Don't worry about it, man. You know, don't even worry about that. But that's getting ready to change, more than likely. I don't know if y'all listening to Trump. Pay attention to some of the stuff he be saying. He talked about, he had a little slip about church and state where he made it seem like he may try to bring them two back together again. So just be careful with that guy. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabitant forever. That's crazy. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As Yahuwah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did he overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh, he burned it up.
With what?
Fire and brimstone.
They came from a what?
Huh?
They came from a what? It didn't just come from the sky. Volcano.
Nobody ever said that.
Yellowstone.
I've never heard that.
It's a volcano, bro. Volcano.
Sulfur and all that.
Yeah, volcano. So what we have to start doing, again, like you say in the Christian mind, and you think everything's all spooky and extra spiritual and all this and that. It's a volcano. It's a literal volcano.
Yellowstone is a volcano, a really big one.
Yeah. That's why every now and then I always try to bring Yellowstone back into y'all remembrance, because if Yellowstone goes off or if a bomb hits and it goes off, they talk about 2/3 is done here.
See, I'm sure there's a volcano over there.
Look it up,
It
Ak.
don't say anything about it.
Look it up, Ak. But like, but you also have to.
What happens when the volcano explodes?
Oh, and then she probably turned around and got caught in that lava and poof. You're not going to survive it.
Volcano.
I'm glad y'all know that. I've been through that.
Okay, volcano. So as Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahuwah, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Jeremiah, if you don't mind. The last slide from this chapter.
Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel, and they will not show mercy.
So exactly what happened to us is going to happen to them, those that survive this place, and that are not the people, and that are not cleaving to the covenant of the Most High. A people that ain't going to care about their money, about their skin color, about none of it. Like, you know, it may be a part of the Islamic Republic for all we know. At the rate that this country is going, attacking every Islamic nation for no doggone reason, false flagging, lying, talking about that they're the main issuances of terror and terrorism, creating words like terrorist when America is literally the biggest terrorist on earth. the most hypocritical nation to ever be assembled ever.
And we created terrorist groups our own selves.
Yeah.
Country did it.
Yeah, bro. For us to go get Maduro, we fabricated a whole cartel that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like the stuff came out in international court, we created a whole cartel that did not even exist. Just to try to prove a point like, oh yeah, no, he's a part of this cartel and we're getting all these drugs and this. Like, no, we just lied.
Just like the drug boats that we don't get evidence from.
Never. We blow them up.
Like, oh, we just blow them up.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
where's
blow-
the evidence?
We blow everything up. Yeah.
Keep going on, my bad.
Okay. They shall hold the bow in the lance. They are cruel and will show no mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses. Every one put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon hath heard report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains as of a woman in travail.
So Trump, he can act as tough as he wants to. They see what's going on with the BRICS nations. They know about the military because America is number one in military, but like I think 5 out of the top 10 top militaries in the world are all a part of BRICS.
Yeah.
They see what's coming. And then again, you attacking an Islamic state during Ramadan.
Yes.
Seriously.
They don't care about the American people.
No.
They don't. Flat out, straight up, they don't care. They don't care. They care about keeping those bloodline families wealthy and rich that control everything that should not be controlling nothing.
13 families.
Right. The Khazarian Mafia, the name stealers.
Yeah.
The name stealers. The Goths and Visigoths is who they are. Keep going.
Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Most High, that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations.
So again, this is about the powers that should not be. And you know, since COVID, they've been talking about that there's going to be a global reset. What they ain't paying attention to is the Most High. He's got his own global reset. And that's the one that they don't want to see happen. So the main proponents or the Assembly of Nations is coming against Babylon. Who are they? I know Elder Mike knows. Isaiah 13, verses 15 through 22. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. What does it mean to be thrust through? Like you got a sword.
Yeah.
Everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Oh, man.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as far gold, and as far for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Ain't the means part of
Go ahead, Elder.
How many chapters in our book of Isaiah is there?
60 something, 67. I don't have my phone.
We can put that. I'm just going to bring that for us to kind of remember something. Isaiah compared to Jeremiah. And,
Yeah, they were contemporaries. Yep.
Ezekiel and Eliyahu. All their prophecies started from their time that they were living in.
Yeah.
And it went to where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Isaiah is backwards. Isaiah starts with where we are basically today.
Yeah.
And goes back
So-
and ends up to his time.
I'm glad you said that because Isaiah, like I think I've always told you that, like that's my favorite book in the Bible because like Isaiah be getting so many like downloads from the Most High that like Christ, he's probably, if not the most, he's the second most person that Christ ever quotes. He's all like when he talks about the gospel in the New Testament, he's quoting Isaiah. Like you start seeing Paul quoting Isaiah. Like they keep quoting Isaiah. It's like, and you start reading Isaiah like, man, you getting all of these downloads from the Most High. Like, okay, but he's right though. Isaiah kind of be everywhere.
Let's look at Isaiah around 3. Isaiah 3 talks about how our women are collectively.
Man.
With talks about alopecia. All this coming at you. Their hair, they're wearing all these tattoos and these big eyelashes. He breaks on down. Now think about it. Back in the 50s,
God,
60s,
man.
70s, 80s, were our women wearing that even into the 90s?
No.
They were proud of their own. They were proud. Sisters was proud of their own hair and stuff. They, they had wigs from time to time. They didn't want to, but for the most, sisters were going out and skin whitening and all that. Isaiah breaks it on down. Then he says, what did he also say? In the last days, your leaders are going to have the minds of children.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay, you said it's about 60 chapters in it?
It's like 67, huh?
66.
It is 66. Okay, I thought it was 67.
Well, all this here is look how many more chapters you have before you get to his time.
Yeah.
This is us right now.
It'll right about that. Ain't nothing I can say about that. He right. Like, and you got to think how close you got to be with the Most High to get these type of prophecies thousands of years into the future.
Super close.
That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Spirit come upon you and you just prophesying and people just writing it down like, oh, okay, he's in a prophetic. Okay, we got to make sure we get every word. He said, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard the silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's what's coming to this place. They ain't gonna spare nobody. But he loves everybody, right? The Most High, right? Like you got to start understanding when you are in your right standing with the Most High will literally kill for you. It's an uncomfortable truth because that's what he did in Egypt. It's what he did in Babylon back then. It's what he's going to do in the future. And this is that's why I don't really even debate really with Christians no more. I'm like, you even know why Christ is coming back? You know why a lot of these end time events are going to happen? It's not just because he's come back to save Christians. That don't even make sense. When you read the different texts, you see that Israel and Judah is still oppressed. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Oh no, the church replaced Israel. Show me what one text that actually says that. Oh, well, if you got the faith, then you are the seed of Abraham. It said, in Isaac shall your seed be called. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob had 12 tribes. Everyone else can cleave to the covenant, but you don't replace the people.
Yeah.
Don't get me on
They
that.
always do the past tense.
Yeah.
When Israel, I'm like, you are Israel. Like.
It's about a bloodline, man. It's about a family. So verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Here we go again. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. It's not going to be long. But who can endure? Because we got some endurance. We got some things that we still going to have to go through. Yeah. Who can stay focused on the end goal, which is our salvation? Who can really tribe up until the end? Because we're going to need each other. Can't none of us individual tribes make it without each other. We're going to need to be walking in brotherly and sisterly love, trusting and loving one another, working together, preferring one another, right? And it's not about race. It's about, this is our assembly. It's about a tribe thing. Because our goal is to be a part of the remnant. Because only the remnant, like a lot of our people going to die. Yeah. Only the remnant's going to be saved. Your books, chapter 51. Verses 1 through 13 and 24 and 28. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them shall rise up against me a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon famines that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his
Brigandine.
and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. Man.
This is rough.
Yeah. For Israel have not been forsaken.
The Christians have not been forsaken, people.
No, Israel.
Oh.
For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his Yah, of the Most High of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel.
Hold on. Just hold on to his word.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Most High's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
But you see how it says that, like, you kind of got to be ready in case an opportunity presents itself to where you can get out of that thing. So again, don't be so tied to this place.
Yeah.
And it's delicacies that's really poisoning. You can't even trust the candy.
No, you can't.
You can't trust nothing. You can't trust soap.
Syria.
You can't trust the fruit, if you even want to call it that.
Man, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Most High's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
Has everyone not drunken of the cup of America? You know, for the longest time, we're the greatest country, and, you know, we'll give you all these billions and billions of dollars. You just got to follow our system and our way, and, you know, the Israeli people are going to run us and everything. You know, it's just one big, happy, unhappy family, right?
Democracy.
Yeah, democracy, even though the Constitution says republic, right?
Yeah. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, be she make me healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky.
Do you want to be a part of the judgment that reaches up to heaven?
No, right?
So when it comes for us to go to our own people and to our own land, be ready for it.
Yeah.
Physically and especially spiritually and mentally, because it's going to be a change. But we all have got to be prepared and ready. Like, okay, this is just what we got to do.
Yeah.
It's what we got to do.
Yeah. The Most High hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Most High.
Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to be declaring to everybody who's going to listen what the Most High just done for us. How he saved us. How everyone else thought we was crazy, letting them know that we the people. He going to be like, no, that's them, they me. I'm their father.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
Make bright the arrows. Gather the shields. The Most High have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
Mm-hmm.
For his device is against Babylon to destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of the Most High, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Most High have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants.
So this is the Most High's plan? This is his pleasure? This is his desire?
Yeah, that get back.
Got to get back.
Yeah. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetous. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Most High. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof. and all the land of his dominion.
So this is the Medo-Persian Empire, which is Russia and Iran, which are all part of BRICS. They signed that compact between those three. We talked about that, right? And it's just crazy when you see like the devices that the Most High has for them in the end, because it's going to be bad. And I'm going to read 24 again. It says, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight. So we going to get to see it, that retribution. Like, you talking about how many of our ancestors went missing, died in slavery, were lynched. They're still lynching us even now. They kill us and find themselves not guilty by, a jury of our so-called peers, even though they don't look like us.
Using all women for DNA experiments.
DNA experiments.
Epstein deal is coming out with.
We're about to get to Epstein. We're about to get there. Trust me, we're about to get to Epstein.
Henrietta, was it?
Huh?
Henrietta.
Huh?
One that discovered a lot of, cures.
Yeah, but because in her genes, they don't die. Yeah. They still using her genes to this day. And her family gets nothing.
Well, just got paid. They sued and they
Oh, they did? Okay.
they got paid finally.
What happened?
So one of our women has the DNA in her to where her DNA literally doesn't really die. And so they're using it to make vaccines and all kinds of cures and all kind of... Bro, black people have been here on this plane for millions of years. Right? The other people that are opposite of us have only been here maybe 5,000 years. And they need us for everything. But they claim that they don't. Now, talking about the demonic devices of the enemy. So first we're going to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 11. Or Corinthians, my bad. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're all here for, to make sure that ain't none of us ignorant. We got to stay vigilant because their deceptions, like I always say, are going to get more deceptive. Because they're trying the balance of power with this world that's coming. Don't forget about Albert Pike and all the other type stuff. Because they want you to be physically, mentally, and spiritually exhausted so you can accept the healing light of Lucifer by the nihilist, right? Don't forget about none of that. Right? All that stuff is still part of their game plan. Romans 1, verse 13 through 18. Now, I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that ofttimes I purposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. So as much as is in me, I am ready to preach the Basora that you are to you that are at Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the Basora of Mashiach. For it is the power of Elohim unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Yahudim first and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of Elohim revealed from faith to faith. So my job is to keep us in the faith. I know we're going to get distracted. I know all this stuff, the world's going, tumbling down. We got to stay in the faith. We got to keep the main thing, right? In the faith. So then he says, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from under heaven against all ungodliness. That's what we're going to be uncovering. And unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. So the elder, he had mentioned Epstein, right? Epstein. We are dealing with an ancient evil that people don't really realize, right? They have no idea, no understanding. So the mingling of blood, all of this stuff is tied to blood in some type of way.
Yes, it is.
So first, are we allowed to eat blood?
No.
So we're going to go to Leviticus 17, and we're going to read verses 10 through 12. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. So why is it like this big thing here in America to where people will get a steak and they'll throw it on the grill. As soon as they hear it, 2 seconds, flip it, take it off and eat it. And they claim to be Christians. What's up with that? Do we not believe the word, or do we believe the word? Oh, are we in the faith or are we not? Which one is it?
Well, because you know that verse they always use, well, the Father made everything clean.
You're right,
And
sis.
they took it out of context. I'm like, that is not what he said.
Yeah,
That's
and-
not what he was meaning.
It definitely is not. And it's like a strange nature to the people that eat food like that.
Yeah.
So then it says, verse 11, for the life of the flesh is in the
Blood.
blood. And I have given it unto you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh an atonement for your soul. So it's an atonement for sins. That was pointing to Christ, or Messiah. Go ahead, Elder.
I'm going to elaborate on something right quick.
Give him the mic, because I don't know if they can hear it online. I'm trying to grab my phone while he's talking.
Yeah, eating the blood, because I used to like to eat my steaks that way too. But as a fact, from my own experience, when you eat that like that, it does change your nature a little bit. You become more aggressive. That's a fact. At least for me, anyway. So I'm just a human, just like anybody else. So I can understand, you know, when he says don't eat of their blood. I don't know, teacher Moray there. Did you ever notice that eating your steak on the rear side? Did it kind of make you a little aggressive?
Yeah, it messes with my stomach. Like,
Well, when you do all that face stuff, it like you turn like kind of like feral or something.
it can, potentially, because the life force is in the blood, like it says. And then verse 12 says, therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood. That's pretty cut and dry, right? we don't have to go back and forth on that, right? So stop trying to be like the nations if you like eating your food like that. It's a gateway to worse things. So talking about the mingling of blood, we're going to go to Luke 13. Read verses 1 and 2. There were present at that season some that told him, talking about Christ, of the Mashiach, the Galileans, whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. Why? So what happened was Pilate ended up killing these people, and then their blood ended up getting mixed in with the sacrifices. Y'all didn't know that was in the text? It's in there. And Yahushua answering said unto them, suppose you that these Galileans were sinners above all the Galileans because they suffered such things. But again, that's a wicked act to be doing something like that. Pontius Pilate knows better. So I got a question for y'all. If we're disobedient to the Most High, what happens to us since we're the covenanted people? We're going to get disciplined, right? Or we activate the what?
So what?
What do we activate when we're consistently disobedient to the Most High? The curses, which are found where? Deuteronomy what? 28. Because I've been talking I talked to the wife a little bit, but I talked to my mama about some certain things, and I'm seeing certain things in the text that it's a lot about what we're going through now, but it's crazy because even when you try to use AI for certain things, AI, if you don't know how to ask questions, can throw you off course, right? So Deuteronomy 28, verses 14 through 15, 25 through 26, 29, 32, 36, 48 through 50. Go ahead, Ak.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy Yah, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. The Most High shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
Which is where we are right now.
You know? And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall freight them away.
So earlier we read a text where it talks about all that devoured you shall be, either devoured or taken over. But this one, he says in verse 26, and your carcass. So a carcass is a what? That's a dead body, right? Shall be meat unto the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. So, looking at that, because of course carcass is nebula, but it's carcass or dead body. And meat is also food. So your dead body would be food. Now this is talking about the literal animals, right? But is there anywhere in the Bible where beasts were ever described as people?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark of the beast.
Definitely.
Huh?
Definitely.
And Daniel, right?
Yeah.
And in Daniel, right? But the kingdoms that came up, they were all referenced to different beasts, right? So I'm reading that and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what really triggered me is David. What really triggered me was David. So remember I told you like the Most High told me a little bit ago to like major in the Psalms, right? So I was just thinking, I'm like, well, okay, so why would it say that your body is going to be meat, dead body is going to be meat for all these? Because we know that they can be referenced to nations. So I asked AI, because again, if you don't know what you're doing with AI, it can throw you off course. So what does Deuteronomy 28 verse 26 mean? Is it literal? Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. And it says, you're asking, what does this mean? Is it literal? I'll answer plainly. It says Deuteronomy 28 contains blessings for covenant obedience 1 through 14, curses for covenant disobedience 15 through 68. Verse 26 is part of the curse section. We know that. It describes what would happen if Israel broke the covenant. Point 2, it means if Israel disobeys and is defeated in war, their bodies will be left unburied. Birds and wild animals will consume the corpses, so it's taking it literal.
That's happened to us.
Right? No one will be left to protect or bury the dead.
That's happened to us.
In the ancient Near East, proper burial was extremely important. It's cleanliness. To be left unburied was a sign of defeat, a sign of disgrace, a sign of total eclipse, or collapse, collapse. So then I'm just looking at it like, okay, so is it literal or metaphorical? This one is primarily, now it said primarily literal. This type of thing happened in ancient warfare. When cities were destroyed, bodies were often left exposed. Birds and scavengers consumed them. Burial was not possible during total defeat. This imagery appears in many war texts in the Bible. For example, Jeremiah 7:33, 1 Samuel 17:44, Psalms, David 79:2. It's a standard ancient war curse formula. So is it hyperbolic? It is strong language, but not symbolic like Micah 3. It describes a real wartime outcome. It may be intensified rhetorically to emphasize total devastation, but it reflects real historical siege and battlefield conditions. Now, this is the thing, because I didn't ask Chat or AI anything about cannibalism, did I? No, I didn't. Yes, so did it ever happen? Yes. During the Assyrian invasions, the Babylonian destruction, Roman destruction, mass casualties and exposed bodies were recorded. Ancient war was brutal. The meaning, it means if Israel breaks the covenant, they will be defeated so completely that their dead will lie unburied and be consumed by scavengers, a sign of national humiliation and judgment. But this is the kicker. It said, it is not about ritual cannibalism. I never asked that. I was like, wait, I didn't ask that. What are you talking about cannibalism for? I didn't say nothing about cannibalism at all. I just asked what the meaning was. So that kind of just, and like I said, so, dealing with ChatGPT or AI, any AI. So I just asked, were nations in the Bible ever called beasts? And then it just brings all of this from Daniel chapter 7, right? All of these different nations, right? The lion, the bear, the leopard, right? All of these different things. So that's kind of a different type of context. And these nations represent Babylon, Medo-Persia, Rome, Greece, and all of this. So I'm going to keep going. So then it gives you this why beast or whatever, right? Beasts represent chaotic, predatory power. We know America is the most predatory nation on earth, right? They contrast with the Most High's orderly kingdom. They depict rulers who devour and dominate. So we've seen different texts that talked about devour, how our bodies would be meat for carcasses and all this other type stuff, right? From different prophets, right? So we're going to keep going. We're going to finish Deuteronomy 28, and then we're going to jump to another one. So go ahead. Go back to verse 29.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. The Most High shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
Now that part, serving them in hunger and in nakedness and in want of all things, that's going to come up later. Keep going.
The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, who shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Right. So, like, we know about those curses, right? So then we go to Micah 3. Micah 3, because, like, I'm looking at certain things and I'm like, some things are literal, some things are spiritual, some things are allegorical or metaphorical. But we also have to remember his ways are not our ways. They're higher than ours. So sometimes he's saying these things and he's saying more than one thing. It's multi-layered, right? So Micah 3, verses 1 through 3. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and you princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? We're supposed to know judgment. Who hate the good, we're supposed to love the good, and love the evil, that's backwards. Who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. Now this is talking about the wicked judgment that our rulers, that our priests, that our false prophets were doing to our people. So, like in the Hebraic modern, in the context, it's like, oh, what you're doing is literally plucking off their skin and the flesh from off their bones, right? Because like you're destroying your own people, your own heritage, right? Because you don't care about it. Who also eat the flesh of my people. So it's like you're eating the flesh of your people by treating your people wrong. By taking advantage of silly women, simple women, and saying that you can have these sins forgiven as long as they give you all this money and they ain't got nothing and you're just so rich and you ain't gonna help nobody, right? So who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off of them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces. Now pay attention. As for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron. So the sins of our people were so erroneous, it were so egregious to the Most High, it was like that they were literally participating in cannibalism. So that's why one of the curses that he said that would happen to us was what? In the siege, we would eat the flesh of our own children. Y'all remember that, right? Because of our acts, that's why we got to be careful. We're supposed to know judgment. So we don't want to fall into that again. So we got to make sure that we're praying to the Most High and that we are dealing justly with our people, that we're dealing justly with everybody, to be honest, to make sure that we're not following in the same sins that they were doing, because to the Most High, it was like it was cannibalism. So I was seeing that and I'm like, I've never even looked at this like that before. So again, he told me to major in Psalms 27. This is the one that kind of got me started. It says, Yahuwah is my light and my salvation. This is one of the most powerful prayers you could pray for yourself, for your tribes, everybody. Yahuwah is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yahuwah is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I need y'all to be with me now. When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Why would he even poetically talk about enemies want to eat up your flesh? David was a prophet also. So this prayer, in my opinion, was for the future. In a future siege, or in a future when you're in a land that's not your own, 400 years in slavery, because to eat up my flesh. If you read the whole chapter, that verse don't really make sense. Because you're like, okay, because it's all about the Most High saving you. right? Protecting you, keeping you from hurt, harm, and danger. We'll keep going. So I'm going to read that verse again. It says, when the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came up on me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and failed. That's why when this prayer is on you, you won't get eaten. If you can follow me. It's going to get a little weird. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fail. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of Yahuwah, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of Yahuwah all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of Yahuwah, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble, that's what's coming, the finality of it, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. When your enemies are trying to eat you, he's going to hide you. In the secret of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. He shall set me upon a rock, right? So you're going to be on a solid foundation. Goshen. But like, why would David be talking about enemies wanting to eat up his flesh? That was just, it didn't strike me the right way. Now that I know other things, and now shall my head be lifted up above mine enemies, because he's doing his prayer round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing. Yes, I will sing praises unto Yahuwah. Hear, O Yahuwah, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said, seek you my face, my heart said unto you, your face, Yahuwah, will I seek. Hide not your face far from me. Put not your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O Yah of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then Yahuwah will take me up. Does any of this make sense with the enemies coming to eat up your flesh? That's still like way out of context to me. Because like, you can say, yeah, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to like take my kingdom. They're trying to take my seed out, but eat your flesh? That's different because David was anointed, right? So then we go to verse 11. Teach me your way, O Yahuwah, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies. Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of Yahuwah in the land of the living. Wait on Yahuwah, be of good courage, have faith, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on Yahuwah. So I know it kind of seems like I'm everywhere, right? Jeremiah 19.
You're all right.
Jeremiah 19.
But don't forget one thing, Moray, that remember the delectable Negro.
Thou sayest. Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else. Thou sayest. Jeremiah 9, verse 7 through 9. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place. And I will cause them to fall by the sword before thy enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives. And their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls.
Here we go again. Same thing. It's happening to us.
And for the beasts of the earth.
So again, we're thinking, it's just only literal animals. Okay, keep going.
Okay, and I will make this city desolate and in Hisson. Everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straiten.
So it's almost like you said that word merathane, huh? Jeremiah 9. You said merathane was like a double bitterness. That's almost like a double portion, because when you get into the curses, he said that once they got to the full in the straightness, that we would eat the flesh of our children, right?
So that's 19.
Under siege.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to. Yeah, I don't know why it's 9. That is 19. I said it's right there. See, it's 19 right there. My bad. It's 19 right there. I messed up right there. My bad.
It's all good.
So then, and in verse 7, it talks about how again your body's gonna be meat for all of these, the beasts and the fowls. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 verses 14 through 18. We in Jeremiah a lot. Go ahead, Ak.
All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. with the chastisement of a cruel one for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee.
So you got to know where your sins are at.
Yeah.
You got to know when you really need to be. If you know you're doing way too much sin, you better be in praying to the Most High and repenting like nobody's business. Keep going.
Before you get too far gone.
Yep.
Therefore, all they that devour thee.
So again, somebody getting eaten. So
Yeah.
us getting devoured again. Right? Keep going.
Therefore, all thee that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
And this is why they want you to stay in sin, so they don't ever have to go into captivity. So they don't never have to see where you came from. Right? Keep going.
And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
Because a prey is normally eaten, right?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Most High. Because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. So they make fun of it.
Right?
Thus saith the Most High, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof.
So we see that we keep getting eaten, and then at some certain point, those that devoured us, they become devoured, right? Okay. Isaiah 49. Yes, Yahoo 49. We're going to do verses 22 through 26. Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring your sons in their arms, and your daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders, and kings shall be your nursing fathers, and queens your nursing mothers. They shall bow down to you with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of your feet. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered? But thus saith Yahuwah, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contendeth with you, and I will save your children. That ain't talking about Christians, it's talking about the people. And I will feed them that oppress you with their own flesh. So then they get it. And they shall be drunken with their own blood. They love eating blood anyway.
Wow.
As with sweet wine. And all flesh shall know that I, Yahuwah, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the mighty one of Yaakov. So I'm looking at all this and I'm like, okay. So if y'all aren't up to date on the stuff that's going on with the Epstein list, right? And then Elder said something because we got some stuff. But I'm going to show a few videos. Again, this is fair use. This is for educational training purposes. But there's a lot that's been going on with Epstein. For instance, what happened to Epstein? Don't say nothing.
He got arrested and then supposedly committed suicide.
And he committed suicide, right? Fair use is for educational and training purposes.
This is Epstein, isn't it? Dude. This is Epstein.
How are you? How you doing, buddy? Come on in. How are you? Good. Do you have the documents? Who created this book?
Epstein himself. I have it there, and also my computer, but just in case power failure. He was very organized, so I was supposed to have been this with every plane and everything. Just there's the computer who was ready with water. First time in my life I saw that to keep it cool, because they used to download pictures like this, just like that.
What kind of pictures?
Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from
All
Colombia.
minors? All young girls?
Very young.
Like when you say very young, how young are you talking?
16, 17. The teenagers, they have braces, most of them.
Younger than that though?
Yeah. And they used to go out to comedy shops or or ice cream parlors or movies, a lot of movies, because it was for paintings, ice cream and comedy and movies. Records that they would stay even if you erase them. I know I could erase them, say there's some. Ghislaine Maxwell was his former companion, a very powerful lady from England. She would go to the former Eastern countries in Europe and find girls for Epstein. And I knew that because I went with my wife. They used to have a computer so powerful, they used to have a water radiator to cool the computer because they used to download pictures like that so fast. Girls, she has nice breasts, she has this and that.
You saw that stuff?
Yeah.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Pictures of the girls?
Mm-hmm.
Were they naked and stuff like that?
Yeah, I testify that.
Jewish, Ashkenazi. And we know that he's been working in conjunction, because if y'all are not aware, he was a spy. He ended up being a double spy because he was also working with the United States government also. Because nobody knew how he got all of his money. So he was a Mossad or the state of Israel, and he was an American spy. Working both sides of the coin, got dirt on everybody. And like I said, according to like different information and evidence, says he's still alive. So that was something, but that's not it. So, yeah, in the files.
Like what he said, weird because I read that part, like what was talking about the teenage girls and how they would pick them up from the different companies and stuff. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And this, I'm not going to show this one, but this video, people in Congress are complaining because there's like 20 different clients of Epstein that they know about that they refuse to prosecute. Won't say nothing, keep their names redacted, everything, right? Because this cabal is still protecting their own. Because they're unredacting the victims' names, but they're redacting the criminals' names. It's backwards.
If they redact the criminals' names, the whole system will fall. America will fall.
Well, then let it fall.
Have y'all read them for yourself?
No, yeah, I haven't.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't know what they're doing, but their names are in there. Like, if you go to the website where it's like government something, you can read the files. They got pictures, like a whole bunch of them. I was skipping through the files, and Trump's name was in there, Epstein was in there, Clinton was in there. Like, you can see their names. They're just not prosecuting. So they're lying.
So, in other words, it's a show.
The victims' names are like victim 1, victim 2, but they're not showing
Go
their
sit down.
names, but their names are in there.
Now, I have a question, because you're up there kind of bringing something out. Says, you know, what's that woman?
There's a video.
Go ahead.
That woman that's supposed to have been kidnapped in Arizona.
Gabrielle?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's a distraction.
No, wait a minute. Is that you think that might be tying in? Is she one of those ish people?
Well, I would think so.
Because I mean, how are so many resources?
Yeah, being allocated to her out of nowhere. Just.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If that happened to your mom, child,
Oh yeah, Trump ain't doing nothing.
you're gonna get that kind of
response.
Yeah.
That's not
So-
like, what is she?
So I don't even pay. Honestly, I feel like that's a red herring. So I don't even pay attention to that. Every time I see that, I just don't. I'm like, okay, I'm not watching that. I just.
But anytime the president said we need a full portion of the government to help you out.
Yeah, that's antennas up. Like, for what
And we still
exactly?
Have, and we still have missing kids.
Yeah.
There's
Lots.
missing children.
Yeah.
Lots of missing
What
people.
is this person? Why is she so important?
Exactly.
Makes no sense.
So we all know that the world we live in is sick,
Yes,
right?
very.
And it needs the cure, which is Yahusha.
Exactly.
So in case y'all aren't aware, I'm gonna show y'all something about the Nickelodeon logo. Because our mind does not go to depravity.
Yeah.
Like, it's not set on that. It's not the default. It's the wicked ruling. We'll keep going. So, another thing, y'all know we survived COVID, right? So allegedly, y'all remember how they talk about like the COVID vaccines came from one male DNA? Yeah. And they would never release who it is. Allegedly, it's Epstein.
This guy died tragically from falling off a balcony.
So Jeffrey Epstein, he was also obsessed with bioengineering. So he had all of these scientists on that he would donate money to their charities and he would have them work on things and stuff. But what I heard, and this is completely unsubstantiated, but I heard it and I thought it was fascinating, was that he also had these same guys because they were disease specialists and everything like that. He had them design a novel coronavirus. That was his switch. Basically, that was his trump card, which is like, I don't go to jail or I release this. And it's like one of these things where if I don't keep entering in a thing every 30 days, I die. In October or November, his switch went off. And that's when the disease got introduced into the world until it became what we do today. I don't believe it.
I don't, I'm with you. I don't believe that for a second, but that's a goddamn great conspiracy.
This guy.
There's like an article or something that I read that it was talking exactly about what they're planning on doing with COVID before even COVID came.
Yeah, because like they'd already signed into law the first round of stimulus checks the year prior. If y'all go back into that, so they signed, like they know.
Yeah.
They just play dumb. So, are y'all aware that Trump's name is in the Epstein files more than God is in the Bible?
Yeah.
So you know God's name is supposed to be in the Bible like over 6,000 times. Trump's name is in the Epstein files more than that.
It's up on every page.
Trump's name appears more times in the Epstein files than God's name appears in the book about God. Okay, by the way, this is the Trump Bible. Move over, King James. Trump's name also appears more times in the Epstein file than Harry Potter's name appears in the 7 books about Harry Potter. Trump's name appears more times.
That's what they claim.
Trump's name.
And so this is the one where one of y'all shared about Gabriella disappearing, right?
There really are some disgusting people out there. Have you heard about the girl Gabriela Rico Jimenez? Yeah, it's insane. This happened in 2009, right? This girl was a 21-year-old model, and she had just gone to this party that apparently had some of the most elite people in all of the world at it. And she was at a hotel in Mexico when she just started going ballistic, apparently the day after this party. And if you watch that video, she's saying like, they're eating people. It's disgusting. They're eating people. And she keeps saying that and just going crazy, saying like, accusing these people of doing some of the most heinous things you can imagine humans doing to each other. She ends up getting arrested, and that is the last time anyone has ever heard from her at all. There is absolutely no, like, her family hasn't made a report about her missing. Why would someone just vanish like that with no signs, especially after they said something like she said in that video, right? Yeah. It only points toward maybe someone doing something to her, right? There really are some
Humans drink gladiator blood. Tell me the truth and do not lie to me. Here is the honest evidence-based answer. Yes, some ancient Romans did drink gladiator blood, but it was not a religious sacrament, not widespread state policy, and not a normal part of Roman life. Now let's explain carefully. What the ancient sources say. Roman writers mention that fresh gladiator blood was sometimes consumed as a medical treatment. Two important sources, Pliny the Elder, Tertullian. I'm trying to show y'all what we've been up against this whole time. Pliny, the 1st century AD, records that people with epilepsy believed drinking the warm blood of a slain gladiator could cure seizures. Tertullian criticizes Romans for this practice, describing people rushing to drink blood from the arena. This is stuff about Rome that they never tell us. What was the belief? The idea was based on ancient medical theory. Blood carried life force vitality. That's true. A violent death transferred power. Now, anybody who knows anything about Pizzagate, it's exactly what they be into, right? So, a violent death transferred power. Consuming it transferred strength of healing. It was considered a cure for epilepsy in particular. Important distinction. It was not official Roman religion. It was not part of the state worship. It was not standard Roman behavior. It was likely a fringe medical superstition. It probably occurred mainly among spectators. You know, them Colosseums, they had a lot of spectators. Yeah. Among desperate families of epileptics, and possibly among lower class social classes, allegedly. We do not have evidence of mass participation across Roman society, allegedly. Go ahead, Elder.
Okay, what you're saying here, hold that thought. And I'm taking it to the next level.
Give him the mic. Give him the mic.
Violent death.
Yep.
Transfer of power.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what the wicked heathen with Molech? Didn't they believe with
their children?
With children? Okay, let's take it up here to latter part of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Sanger.
Yep. The most violent deaths.
Got Ashkenazi ish.
Yep.
In bed with some of our preachers
Mm-hmm.
and politicians. What did they set up abortion clinics?
Yep.
And primarily.
And they're violently killing our young
communities.
Mm-hmm.
Well over 4 million black babies murdered in their mama's womb since the late 50s, all the way up to, the last time they had the census.
Yeah, and Kanye said that 50% of our death rate is due to abortion.
So you know how many of our people, Israelites, would be here in America today if
they really couldn't stand us at that point. If they were still alive, if they survived, they really couldn't stand us at that point. You're right, Elder. And this is something that Roseanne talked about, right?
Oh yeah,
Roseanne Barr, fair use, educational and training purposes.
After the release of the Epstein files, what Roseanne Barr said suddenly doesn't sound so crazy anymore.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true. Everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those cults. And they've covered it all up.
After the release of the Epstein
So, different CEOs, one of the Rothschild CEOs, she's stepping down because she was linked to all this Epstein stuff. I'm not going to show that video. But we know the Babylon is false.
It looks...
This guy, so I'm not going to show this one either. So he talks about how he's been going through the Epstein files and, they have different code names for different things. One of the code names that he talks about is cream cheese and how they're referred to as cream cheese also in there. Doing all kinds of crazy nonsense. I mean, we can watch it if y'all want to. That's up to y'all. Fair use just for educational and training purposes.
I
keep redoing this video and trying to figure out how I'm actually going to say this so that some of you will believe me. Every day now, since they released that latest dump of the Epstein files, I've been going through them each day for about 4 hours. Taking breaks, don't worry, I'm fine, I think. I'm going through the victims' journals. These are 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. This is really, really, really disturbing. I just need to give the biggest trigger warning. There are pictures of sonograms in all of their journals. Girls are clearly stating that they're being impregnated, forced to be incubators, and then the baby is taken from them immediately after they give birth. Men like Mark Tremo, a professor at UCLA, is just randomly letting Epstein know that newborns will suck on their pacifiers more vigorously if it triggers a playback of its mother's voice in a recording. When they're all emailing each other, they're using code words. Let's take cream cheese, for example. Random, right? But when you search cream cheese in their emails, it comes up thousands of times. And many of these emails have been deleted, by the way. Let's just look at one. There are millions of babies. Very good little vegetable cream cheese. LOL, I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level. It's okay, there's still enough time today. I'm trying to schedule priming for 5:30. Fuel explosion, 9:45. We'll bring a new engine startup video. I'm Jeffrey Epstein too. We don't know because it's redacted. It's not a victim. Why are we redacting that, DOJ? Coconuts, used all the time in these emails. I ordered sweet young coconuts from Thailand for you. Why are these two coconuts being brought in from Gary Kearney to Jeffrey Epstein with bottles? And then he asks him on the bottom to choose one of them. After reading hundreds, if not thousands of these emails. They're using code words, guys. It's so fucking obvious. A bunch of grown men aren't just scheduling a bunch of pizza parties together over and over and over again. That's because pizza parties are CP parties. And you don't have to believe me. If you go into this address, somebody actually set it up. You go into that and it's like you're Epstein. It's his inbox. I have so much more proof. Epstein's operation was not just trafficking children. No, that wasn't good enough. That wasn't extreme enough. They were impregnating these young kids, girls, each victim over and over again, to then take their babies and those babies and then eat them. I'm gonna say this too, and I know I probably sound psychotic, paranoid, but I am worried for my safety. I am not. Never have been in my life ever. I love my life. I would never do something like that. My house is covered with security. I am armed and I know how to use it. Arizona, legal state to carry. All of you who keep sending me the sweetest, kindest messages, comments, you have no idea how much that has helped me. You have no idea. You are
I didn't even spend that much. I just look when
I keep redoing this video.
I go to see, okay, what are y'all talking about? Is this really public? And I was like, I skipped over things. No, that's really in there. So, but I didn't know that's what that meant, but it was talking about maybe connected, which is really cool.
And one thing that I forgot to put in here. Have y'all seen Jim Carrey lately?
Jim Carrey?
Mm-hmm.
He even he's MIA.
Well, there's a video that just came out and this guy allegedly being Jim Carrey. It don't look nothing like him. So, just so y'all know, Jeffrey Epstein and them were into cloning celebrities.
Yeah.
So they could have sex with the younger versions of these celebrities. Fair use is for educational training purposes.
I seen something really messed up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the version of that celebrity that they wanted.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they were investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a version of that clone. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like years old today if the clone is still alive.
Holy
and
smoke.
is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone.
Yeah.
I'm sure in their head they think like cloning it, okay, boom, expendable.
And where do the bodies go after? Do you see that too with the trapdoor into the ocean?
Literally in that one picture, it shows in the bottom floor, it goes straight to the depth of the ocean. I seen something really messed up.
And each clone had somebody on the outside. They didn't know they was clones. They thought they were just the elite population. They survived, and it was literally people on the outside that had money that were having their clone made. And when it was time for if they needed a kidney or organ transplant, that clone thinks they were going to an island to have fun, get relief of this place, and actually be free. when they were literally taking the clone, taking what they needed from the clone, giving it to the sponsor outside, and they were killing them until two of them were like, no, one of them was like, this ain't right. I feel like I've been here before. Like, what's going on? He figured it out that they were being
What movie was that?
Let me find it.
Yeah, please. I want to watch
It was a while
it.
back, but it was like,
we started watching because they thought they was getting released to an island. They was all excited and free.
The island.
Yeah. It's called The Island. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When the sponsor got sick or needed something, they would go get the clone, and because one guy got mad because he was never.
Because they would be propagandized through all the TV, like, oh yeah, we finally get to go to the island. Yeah, no, you don't want to go there.
yeah, it's called The Island.
Yep. We saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so I'm just trying to show y'all. Yeah, I know you know. Do y'all know about Ellen DeGeneres? So she had a girlfriend / I guess she'd call her wife, and she started looking into Epstein and all that other type stuff and found stuff that was shady with Ellen. Ellen ends up killing her.
What?
Getting her body, having different rituals, and would from time to time has been consuming her body. Don't believe?
Like this recent?
Oh yeah, I'm about to. Yeah.
But remember when she got to that wreck?
Yep.
They were taking her on the gurney until the ambulance thought she's already dead, and she sat up, and they pushed her back down on the gurney and covered her back up.
Yep. I forgot about that. It's a good point.
The ambulance people did, yeah.
Fair use is for educational training purposes. Oof.
Breaking news from the latest 2026 Epstein file dumps. Ellen DeGeneres has been exposed as the key link connecting Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island network to Hollywood's hidden world of ritualistic practices, including the consumption of human flesh in ancient-style ceremonies. But the revelations go deeper, tying directly to her relationship with her ex-partner, actress Anne Heche, who died in that suspicious car crash back in August 2022 while investigating Hollywood's child trafficking pipelines. Anne was determined to expose it all. She confronted Ellen with evidence, and months later, she was gone. Now investigators have confirmed that after Anne's death, Ellen pulled strings to claim her body, storing it in a mansion freezer like some kind of relic. Over the years, Ellen allegedly consumed parts of Anne in deliberate occult ceremonies. So if you haven't heard, there's breaking news.
Scriptures about, our flesh getting eaten and getting devoured and this and that, right? So, yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so y'all are aware, because you see what the video says. It says that 71,000 black girls go missing all the time. And when it happens, they don't get like an Amber Alert. We don't get an Amber Alert. She's going to talk about it. I'll let her talk. Fair use.
71,000 black girls under 17 went missing in 2021. And they were identified as runaways. 9 out of 10 were identified as runaways. If you're identified as a runaway, no Amber Alert, no law enforcement attention, nothing. Right. Saying things like juvenile prostitutes. Juveniles means children. Right. Children cannot consent to sex work. Right. They're children. Yeah. But black and brown girls get adultified. Like, we are demonized and we are blamed for our own abuse, which means you're not going to take it as seriously. Our innocence is never guaranteed, right? It's always up for debate. And the media decides who holds importance, which is why we know about Gabby. We know that hashtag. We know all of those hashtags. 71,000? Yeah. Name one hashtag. Who do we know? 71.
So, even right now, it says more than 600,000 people are reported missing in the United States annually. According to the National Crime Information Center, though most cases are resolved, while white individuals make up the highest absolute number of missing persons, black Americans are disproportionately represented, accounting for roughly 38 to 40% of the population of missing cases, despite representing only 14% of the population. We're 40% of it. We got to be protecting our children, and man, just this stuff is wild. And our wives too, yeah. We got to, man. Like, I'm looking at the numbers and the stuff is crazy, man. So in this video, I'm not gonna show it. In this video, talks about how Epstein and them were actually targeting black women because they wanted them to be incubators. So this is what they wanted to do. Like we was watching earlier, they would get them, rape them vigorously, have them procreate, and then they would eat the baby. It don't get no more wicked than that. It don't get no more wicked than that. And so just to get us out of here, because we ain't gonna get to Nimrod and all that. I still got 100 slides. But you brought up a good point. There's a book that's called The Delectable Negro. And if y'all have never read it, I just want y'all to look at what the title says. It says The Delectable Negro, Human Consumption and Homoeroticism Within the U.S. Slave Culture. Now, we're only on the introduction. I'm only going to read the highlighted portion. In the summer of 2007, I visited the Somerset Place in Creswell, North Carolina. At one point, Somerset Place, a historically restored plantation, was the most successful plantation in North Carolina. And its owners, Josiah Collins III, one of the largest slaveholders in the state. It is now a state historic site sitting on over 100 acres of lush forest. My travel, after a while, all of us there for the morning tour made our way into the seating area where the tour guide finally came in and stood before us. He wore khaki pants, a maroon polo shirt, and glasses. He was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and stood about 6'3". For the sake of discussion, I will refer to him as Mr. Swellfellow because he had that look of a good hometown guy. We'll keep going because I skipped certain parts. A woman, because they talked about how the slaves are like well fed and everything, right? He says a woman who had once tried to escape was put into the stocks in the wintertime. Y'all know what the stocks are? And nothing like that with the wood and stuff around you. You can't go nowhere because she tried to escape. Her legs froze and they had to be amputated. Each month, enslaved adults received a ration of a peck of corn and 3 pounds of dried meat. This is what they fed us. The slaves on this plantation. Huh?
Go ahead.
The slaves on this plantation were well fed, is what Mr. Swellfellow said. Even though we just read that they get a peck of corn and 3 pounds of dried meat. That's not a lot. Mr. Swellfellow emphasized before rattling off more details about the tour. I tried to stay focused, but my mind returned to the rationed meat and cornmeal. The fact that hard field labor would have depleted such rations in a week, not a month. And the image of happy, well-fed darkies ever so casually introduced into Mr. Swellfellow's presentation. I raised my hand and waited for Mr. Swellfellow to call on me. True to his namesake, Mr. Swellfellow noticed my hand and welcomed my question. Mr. Swellfellow, I began. I want to go back to an earlier point you made for clarification. You said that the enslaved were given a peck of corn and 3 pounds of meat. And then you said that they were well fed. But to my thinking, the enslaved must have gone hungry, especially those working in the fields, who would have needed more substance than this to sustain them in backbreaking day-long labor. The smile on Mr. Swellfellow's face dimmed a little even as he formulated an entirely hopeful response. The slaves were well fed, he insisted. It was not in the economic interest of the master to starve them. And besides, the Collinses were kind and had benevolent relations with their slaves. They weren't the type to make their slaves go hungry. Actually, Mr. Swellfellow, I interrupted, it was in the economic interest of the slave masters to starve their slaves. This fact is well documented in literature written by fugitive slaves, because it's like they don't care about the slave side in history. And on the subject of kindness, the so-called kindness of masters hardly ever, to my knowledge, interfered with their profit motive. What better way to profit than by giving your slaves minimal nourishment while you expect in return for investment maximum labor output? Only after I stopped speaking did I realize I was shaking internally and had an edge to my voice. I became aware of my African-American travel companions sitting across the room and the few other white tourists who were part of our morning party. Mr. Swellfellow had flushed and began to sweat. He had become anxious and nervous. Needless to say, this initial interaction with Mr. Swellfellow set the tone for the remainder of the tour. I'm going to get to the point. Hold on. When, during the walking tour, he brought up the subject of enslaved persons stealing meat from the smokehouse, so they're so well fed, but they're stealing meat, I responded by asking why such well-fed persons would have provocation to steal meat in the first place. At one point, thoroughly frustrated with the constant reinforcement of the pastoral and goodly nature of life on Somerset Plantation, I said to our guide, so that everyone can hear, Mr. Swellfellow, it seems to me that you and the state of North Carolina are invested in an image of the masters as goodly, and that you are not willing to entertain perspectives of plantation life that go against this reality. Swellfellow, sweating even more profusely, denied my accusations and did his best to avoid me the remainder of the tour. Right? Because they don't want to hear truth. Now, we talked about how they talked about how America is a great experiment, right? Okay. From contemporary debates over national identity to concerns about modern civil rights, the legacy of slavery continues to inform and impact our senses of civic belonging and investment in this experiment called the United States. Living as we do in a society in which many still deny the fundamental tie between the Civil War and slavery helps me better understand on a systemic level Mr. Swellfellow's resistance to my insinuations of institutionalized hunger on the Somerset Plantation. An admission of institutionalized hunger on the plantation would have required Mr. Swellfellow to alter his notions of the goodly, altruistic master as well. Such an allowance would have required that Mr. Swellfellow consider how sentimental conventions, Christian morals and values, Southern state formation, and statecraft all informed our discussion of slaves made to hunger on the plantation. So we know through slavery, we were going through the Hunger Games before the movie franchise came out, right? Yep. We know that. So we're about to get into the point where we talk about cannibalistic masters. I just got to get through this slide, and we're going to talk about that real quick. While Mr. Swellfellow had his own geographically bounded, he was from the surrounding area and personal reasons for denying the existence of slave hunger. My insistence upon the topic arose mostly from the researching for and writing of this book. I had come to know through my research that instances of hunger within such a pristine, well-kept context were often only indicators of a much larger culture of institutionalized hunger. I had encountered numerous masters like Somerset Josiah Collins III, who one biographer described as an autocrat with a will as imperious and a sway as absolute as the Tsar himself. Josiah III, I would find out months after my plantation tour, fit the profile of the cultivated, overlording type of master who used hunger and all manner of social conditioning to wring from enslaved people maximum labor and to instill in these persons fear and self-denial. Hunger with persons such as Collins was, so again, we're going over the cannibalistic masters now, often the tip of the iceberg. So much more than hunger was at stake in my interactions with Mr. Swellfellow. If he and I cannot talk about hunger on the plantation, then we would never, as individuals or a nation, be able to talk about other intersecting issues, such as social consumption. What's social consumption? What's social consumption?
Like
Okay.
eating amongst people, like
Okay.
eating together.
Social consumption, ritualized hunger, or cannibalistic masters populating southern plantations such as Somerset Place. Was the nation, not to mention the state of North Carolina, ready for an open and inquiring discussion into the topics of hunger and human consumption on the plantation? In the 19th century, none but the most radical abolitionists believed the enslaved person's claims about consuming masters. So we had slaves that were writing about masters that were eating us. So all of this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like David told my enemies coming, like eating, my flesh and all these other prophets and all this and that. But we had slaves that were talking about this. And they don't tell us about none of this stuff. Right? Consuming masters and their descriptions of a culture of human consumption pervading plantation life. So that's like every day. Not only have we collectively forgotten many of the significant details of slavery that continue to impact the present, but we had also ourselves forget the present, but we had also ourselves to forget the horrific forms that human hunger and the pursuit of power could take. Despite our will to forget and desire to reconfigure the past, the reality is that institutionalized hunger and practices of human consumption characterize life on many southern plantations. Were y'all taught? I know you've read some of the book or all of the book. Were y'all ever told that? They don't teach us none of that stuff in history. But slaves were complaining about this. They were writing books and articles about this stuff. So it's not just Epstein. This is an American, this is like a worldwide order, a secret order that we have no idea about, that we've been dealing with, right? No topic disturbed and mystified 19th century America like the subject of human consumption under slavery. For the most part, whites during the time responded to this topic, as did Mr. Swellfellow, with an air of secrecy and shame. For example, one of the most notorious incidents of literal black consumption from the 19th. So it's about this slave ship. Well, not a slave ship. It's about this ship. It was in 1838. It's called the Whaling Essex, right? It's called the Whaling Essex, right? And this is just a picture I had AI create. So in the 19th century, involved members of the whaling ship Essex, which sailed from Nantucket, Massachusetts in 1838. White Nantucketers still today have little to say about the incident, especially the fact that the first 4 crew members to be murdered and eaten by whites were black. So when the Most High said he would literally give us over to a prey, he meant it. The stuff is layered. It's not always just one way. It's not always just literal or metaphysical or whatever. Sometimes it's every way that you can think of when it comes to the curses being activated on the people. Nantucket was known, now this is the crazy part, Nantucket was known in the 19th century as a Quaker and abolitionist stronghold. What's an abolitionist? What is an abolitionist?
Supposed to be on the side of trying to be right.
They are trying to end slavery, but they're eating black people. What kind of sense does that make?
Man, you can't believe what these people say there.
So again, they're supposed to be ending slavery, but instead they're literally eating us.
Well, they did think of that we were animals, so I mean, it kind of makes sense in men's logic because we were animals.
Right? And its residents then and still today find it hard to explain ship captains operating as slave drivers, African persons treated in a brutish manner aboard whaling ships, and more pointedly, the master-slave ideology informing the consumption of the 4 black men. So they knew for a fact that they ate us on that one. Now, the rest of that stuff that from that book, we're going to get to a later time. But what we're dealing with in this Babylon is kind of like a mirror into ancient Babylon, if you've read, which we went over, the Lost Book of King Og. But I don't want to keep y'all here too long, so we can go over that next time. Unless y'all want to keep going, it's up to y'all. Go ahead, Elder.
I just wanted to comment here. I know
Turn it back on. Yep.
Make a comment here on the delectable Negro.
Yeah.
One of the first things, and here.
Don't tell everything about the book, though.
No, I'm not going on the book now. Let's take it to where we are in the 21st century. 2026, okay, to be exact. One of the reasons that it's so easy for the white man, wicked European, pink man, whatever you want to call it, to take advantage of our women especially, is because there's a sickness, this is in the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, is what psychiatrists and psychologists use.
Right.
You know, it's called cognitive
dissonance.
And it falls along the same line as Stockholm Syndrome, but it goes deeper. And I would challenge anybody, when you get a chance, go to the definition, pull up cognitive dissonance. And our women still have the mindset, and even here in America, but in these other countries that are poor countries over there in our African continent, they really fall for the mindset because, oh, you're white, or you're my white savior. And then they get caught up in this madness, because I guarantee you, some white boy went over there and said, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and sweep you off your feet. They gladly, this is like this cat that's going around from Russia, giving HIV to a lot of the sisters over there in Western Africa. Same mindset, I'm gonna sweep you off your feet. Okay, you get caught up with some of this Epstein stuff. Now you're on this island, you can't get off, and you know we're gonna use you and abuse you. It's the same thing over here in America, but see, black women over here are just a wee bit smarter. You have to we have to use a little bit more tact to get them caught up, but still they still get caught up in it. It's a doggone shame. I know that probably a lot of our sisters don't want to hear it, but a fact is fact. And we as men, we caught up in that same cognitive dissonance. We gotta break this bond, this mindset that we have. What thinking these other nations love us, when clearly you just showed us in some of the scriptures here today, they all made a covenant to come against us. They're confederate against us. Nobody loves us. We better start loving ourselves.
Got to.
No more talk.
So everything that we're going through is like a microcosm of the stuff that we went through in the past, because the ancient Babylon, there was way more going on in that ancient Babylon than even what the scriptures even tell. So you look into some of the some extra biblical sources like the Lost Book of King Og, and you just start seeing like the stuff that the videos that we watch and the stuff that we discussed today. You see that back then. So for instance, y'all remember who Nimrod was, right? Mm-hmm. So if we go to Genesis 10, verses 8 through 10, it says, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty hunter in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. And technically, with how America is, this is, in my opinion, the end of his kingdom. So when the scripture says like that he was a mighty hunter before the Most High, it doesn't mean like he was just such a great hunter. Like he was the first mighty hunter, but it was like he was doing things. So according to this, from the lesser known book of the Bible, or lesser known people of the Bible, it says Cush fathered Nimrod, who became the first fearless leader throughout the land. He became a fearless hunter in defiance of the Most High. So he was doing that in the Most High's face. He was being rebellious, right? That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a fearless hunter in defiance of the Master or the Most High. So that word in the face of is panim or panah, means to accept anger as long because of beseeched countenance, right? So again, his name is synonymous with rebellion, which is what America is, right? That's what America is. So then if we go to Jasher chapter 7, verses 27 through 30 and 42 through 47. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments. So this is what kind of helped him become that mighty one, right? Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father. And he took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begat his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret. And they were with Cush many days. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up. And when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on those garments. And Elohim gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yeah, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars. And he offered upon them the animals before the Most High. Well, actually, Nimrod is the one that started Baal worship, or worshiping the Lord. Nimrod started all of that. He brought all of this rebellion to mankind, right? Because that's why the next slide says, who is the Lord? When you look it up in Strong's, it says Baal, right? Baal. But I would show y'all more stuff in the Lost Book of King Og, but again, we're just going to stop there before this gets too long. So, Elder, if you don't mind praying us out. 115. Okay.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We thank you for blessing us so graciously. Having patience with your people. We're trying to get it. We're trying to learn your ways, Abiyah, and leave the ways of this oppressor alone that has tarnished our mind. All of us, at some point, have been tarnished. We're trying to get it right. We ask you, in your Son, Yeshua's precious name, to give us the strength and give us the mind that we can relearn, put this past out of our mind. Give us a new heart, Abba, in Yeshua's precious name. Amen.
Come on. So we are Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like and share our content. And as always, until next time, Shalom, tribe.
Whoa.